Welcome to Localite, everybody. I'm John Compton, and thanks again for joining me. You know, I mean, the Gorge is, it's not any kind of secret that there's a lot of musicians out here. And if you've been following the show over this first season, we've had quite a few come on, and today's no exception. We've got another guy on with us, and his name's Ben Bonham, and he plays with some of the local bands around here, and it's got a good story. So, Ben, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
All right. Well, hey, tell me about your music. How do you classify it? I mean, you got all kinds of guitars around here.
Well, the only real classification is probably that I am the master of the Ben Bonham style guitar, which is a line I stole from a friend, by the way. But
okay.
I play everything from early country blues through early country and jazz and Hawaiian music from the early part of the 20th century and all sorts of different kind of music that was around before radio and television and amplification changed everything. So most of my instruments are acoustic only, and that's what I like to do. I'll play electric as well, but mostly early types of music, and pretty much American or American offshoot.
Okay. Do you prefer to play in a band setting or by yourself?
I spent years playing on my own, and it was great, but it's really lonely. And since moving to Hood River, I've started to play with other people, and I love it now. And so I do play a lot of solo shows still. Financially, it's way more rewarding, but emotionally, it's less.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun to be had, and a large group is a lot of energy, and one person, it's hard to really get it going.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't really rely on your buddies to kind of pick up the slack.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's music is a two-way conversation. It's three-way. It's between you and I if we were playing together, and then there's the audience. And so if you've got more people, you can get a much better conversation going on.
Sure, yeah.
So, I have huge respect for solo performers who can night after night get up there, be funny, be entertaining, be brilliant, and make a connection with an audience. So, that's a real challenge, and I love doing it, but I'm probably better if I've got someone to bounce off.
Sure. Well, I think that probably goes for most of us.
I think, well, maybe. Yeah.
Well, what about the Hapa Hillbillies?
So the Hapa Hillbillies,
there?
Well, that's my favorite band at the moment. And we play music that's based in the tradition of the Hapa Howley songs, which
What's that?
Well, you're too young.
Oh,
and so are your parents as well. So,
well, thank you very
Hapa Howley
much.
music was a huge thing that happened, kind of started around 1915. That was the year that the first real Hawaiian troupe came over to this country, and they played at the San Francisco Exposition. And it was a huge hit. And they had the Hawaiian steel guitar, ukulele players, the hula dancers, scantily clad, which is why I think Hawaiian music became so popular, probably. Anyway, and the American audience was completely wowed. I mean, just blown away. And overnight, Hawaiian music became the thing. So Tin Pan Alley went crazy and started writing thousands and thousands and thousands of songs.
Tin
Pan Alley, which is where a lot of great music came from in the old musical days, and
right.
all the old kind of music from the early 1900 onwards. And so suddenly there was this great kind of interest in this music. Everyone played guitar flat on their lap like the Hawaiians did. Everyone had a ukulele. I have pictures from 1932 of a girls' school in Oakland with 55 girls, and they've all got a Hawaiian steel guitar on their lap. No one knows what it is anymore, but it was huge. It was absolutely enormous.
And is it got that real distinct sound that
yeah,
when you
very,
think of Hawaiian
very,
music,
yeah.
that's what
and
we're
so,
hearing?
And Hawaiian music was originally an oral and a percussive tradition. So they sang and they banged things, Okay. And then the Portuguese and the Spanish sailors went there in the 1850s, and they took their whole range of instruments, which are very similar to mariachi instruments that we are familiar with today. So big ones down to little ones. And the Hawaiians liked the little one and took some strings off and called it the ukulele. And they started strumming that, and they got the guitars, and they strummed a guitar and a regular guitar, and a Spanish-tuned guitar, which is what regular guitar is, doesn't sound very good if you don't do anything with your fretting hand.
Right.
And the Hawaiians strummed it and said, sounds awful. So they started retuning the tuning heads or the keys. They slackened the keys. And a form of music was called slack key music, and it was to do with, you've probably heard of that.
Yeah.
So they strummed it, and they said, a G chord. Lovely, we like that. And then somewhere around the 1880s, a guy called Joseph K. Cuckoo, they say, had it on his lap, and he dropped something on the strings, and it went, and And so this whole new form of playing the guitar. But then Indians have done that in India for thousands of years on various things. So no one really knows, and there's lots of argument about who really invented it. So you've got ukulele strumming, you've got Hawaiian steel guitars, going like this, regular guitars playing. And they took their beautiful lyrical vocal sound, and then they heard the American jazz of the teens and the 20s, Louis Armstrong, Vic Spiderbeck, and they shoved that all together and they came up with this incredible music, which became Hapa Haole music. So you've got Hawaiians playing it, you've got white guys from this country playing it, you've got people all over the world playing it, in Japan, in Europe, everywhere you went.
So what is Hapa? It's
H-A-P-A.
H-A-P-A. And what does that actually mean?
It means half, or half, as you say,
Oh,
half.
yes.
And Haole is someone who is not from the islands or not of Polynesian or island descent. So if I went to the Hawaiian Islands, which I have not done yet, but will do.
Oh, you got to do it.
I know I do.
Yeah.
I would be a Haole. And I think it can be quite derogatory, but I haven't been yet. My Hawaiians friends, they call me a Haole. So a Hapa Haole is a half Haole. So these songs had English words and Hawaiian words. And they were kind of English sounding and Hawaiian sounding. And so we formed a band, actually myself and Victor Johnson, who you know well.
Yes.
And Larry Wyatt, who's in the current band. We formed a band called the Hapa Haole Boys, and we played down at the Baldwin Saloon every Monday night in the Dalles. And we loved it, and we had audiences ranging, from 2 or sometimes even 3 people. Unbelievably successful and popular. We packed that place. And people didn't know what it meant, and they wanted to understand. And so it slowed down, and Victor wanted to do his kids stuff, and he really got into the kids' music, and that's his train now. And so we stopped for a bit, but I've always wanted to do this music, and I finally got another band together, and we reformed, and I forget who came up with the name, but we're not Hapa Haole, Hapa Hillbillies. We're a bunch of hillbillies. So we kind of mix a little hillbilly country in there as well, and some Hawaiian stuff, and it's a fun band.
Yeah, it's got a really unique sound, and you're going to do a little bit of that for us.
I'll play some stuff. Yeah, I'll play some stuff. Yeah, and we play now every Monday night at the Hood River Hotel. So much as in the 20s in Hawaii, if you walked into one of the big hotels, the Moana Hotel or one of the other hotels, you'd find a Hawaiian band or a trio playing in the lobby, serenading all the guests as they came in. So we now sit in the lobby of the Hood River Hotel. People walk in with their baggage.
What's these half hillbillies?
Yeah, what are these?
A
bunch of scrappy-looking people. So.
Well,
so
good.
It's fun. And we play a lot of other gigs as well, but that's our home base at the moment.
Nice. All right. Well, obviously your accent gives it away. You're not probably a native to the Gorge.
No, a little further east.
Yeah. So we'll talk about your life in the UK then when we return. So you guys, Ben Bonham's on the show. We'll be right back.